The Battle of Amdam took place in and around the eastern Chadian town of Amdam on May 7 and May 8, 2009, when Chadian army forces attacked a column of advancing Union of Forces for the Resistance rebels. Battle. At 11:30 on the morning of May 7, 2009, a Presidential Guard battalion led by General Tufa Abdolai ambushed a column of UFR rebels on the eastern outskirts of Amdam, a village 100 kilometers south of Abeke in southeastern Chad. Mounted infantry from both sides exchanged fire from the backs of Toyota Technicals, mounted with heavy weapons. One eyewitness saw anti-aircraft weapons used against targets on the ground. Amdam's hospital sustained severe damage when a government vehicle offloading casualties drew fire from rebels' forces, which also destroyed 14 civilian structures in the vicinity with errant shells. According to hospital workers, government soldiers returned fire and promptly withdrew. Less than an hour after the skirmish began, rebel vehicles that were passing to the south of Amdam in an attempt to flank the smaller government force encountered an armored column of government reinforcements led by Hassan al-Ghadam al-Jidda, Chief of Staff of the Chadian National Army, and General Tahir Adar, General Director of the Gendarmerie Nationale. The rebel flanking movement was eliminated, and by 2:30 the remnants of the UFR column was racing back to safe havens in Darfur, with government forces in hot pursuit. Official tallies later released by the government testified to the intensity of the fighting, with 247 combatants killed, 225 of them rebels. Of the 212 rebels taken into custody, 83 were minors. With government control firmly established, soldiers broke into the hospital pharmacy and commandeered medical supplies. Civilian volunteers in Amdam and the adjacent village of Amdam Ziri B were organized into 6 teams of volunteers to collect and bury the dead. One burial committee encountered 11 rebel corpses, 7 of whom had an entry wound in the forehead or between the eyes. One government soldier was found with his eyes gouged out. Government soldiers conducting security sweeps in Amdam and surrounding villages for wounded rebels pursued a group of insurgents to the village of Galbasa, 2 kilometers east of Amdam, where 4 rebels took refuge in a home that was occupied by 6 civilians. Government soldiers supported by a T-55 tank drew within 5 meters of the structure and ordered the civilians to leave. 5 civilians emerged, with 2 rebels in their midst. Both rebels were killed by government soldiers and 3 of the 5 civilians suffered gunshot wounds, including a 14-year-old boy. The structure from which they had emerged was then deliberately flattened, killing the 2 remaining rebels and crushing to death Yusuf Abakar, a 55-year-old civilian and the father of 8 children. Abakar was one of 15 civilians killed during the combat. Government soldiers remained in the Amdam area for 6 days, during which time the nearby hamlet of Mashangala was systematically looted valuables. In the early evening of May 7, government soldiers descended upon Galbasa under the pretense of searching for rebels and sexually assaulted 2 sisters, a 19-year-old woman and a 14-year-old girl. The women of Galbasa evacuated the village the following morning for the nearby towns of Gasjamouds and Habanir and did not return until after government forces withdrew from the area. Control of Tissi. In May 2009, simultaneous with the UFR raid on Amdam, the Front Populaire pour la Renaissance Nationale, a Chadian rebel group led by Abdelmadjid Yacoub, occupied the strategic town of Tissi at the Chad, Sudan, Central African Republic tripoint. It wasn't until April 2010 that Chadian government forces were able to retake Tissi.